Good morning, everybody. This is Jack Long, the Mad Scientist, and on today's adventure, what we're going to do is we're going to discuss preload tension inside your stations. So quite often I hear people say, I make an adjustment to the top and bottom trimmers, or the corner rounders, or pick something, and nothing happens. So there's a couple reasons why this could be. One is because you may physically be so far out of whack that you can't get there. But the other thing that usually happens is what's called preload tension is incorrect. So when the part is being processed through the machine, all of our stations have got to float in relationship to our edge, okay? In relationship to what we call reference zero. So we have vertical preload, in which case the top and the bottom, and we have horizontal. Every station has preload to some degree. Now, on the pre-mills, depends on if you have shoes or don't have shoes. If you have shoes, you certainly have a preload. If you don't have shoes, it jumps in, jumps out. That's pretty much it. On your side pressers, they have preload. On your top and bottoms, you have preload, corner rounders, scrapers, the whole 9 yards. So what that looks like, my horizontals, and let's see, my horizontals right now are out, so let me show you my vertical. On the vertical, what you're going to see is the station is going to have this, if I can get it here. See that movement there? This is the bottom trimmer. So what happens is as the board's going in, it makes contact with that, and the amount of movement down is your preload. Okay? If you do not have enough preload, any adjustment you do will be irrelevant because there's nothing for it to copy to. So we have horizontal preload here. We have horizontal and vertical here. This is the bottom trimmer, so our preload is bottom. Horizontal preload here on the top. Same on the top and bottom trimmers. Whether or not it's one trimmer, two trimmers, it doesn't matter. On these, the quantity that you want to have preload is on your glue pot, you're going to want to have it about 0.8 millimeters. Okay? Most of your glue pots, sorry, not trimmers, but most of your glue pots are going to travel straight in, straight out, but not all of them. So you want to make sure that you understand if it's a pivot or if it's movement this way. If the part is introduced incorrectly for whatever reason, and the part travels away from your fence or away from your cut line, your reference zero, this preload is what allows it to continue to make contact. Same thing here. You may say, what I need is a little extra pressure. So let's say that this moves 3 millimeters instead of 0.08, 0.07, 0.08, that it should move. What will happen is it can run out of physical stroke this way, and then if your part is small, it will shove your part out that way. And the crazy thing is it won't do it the same all the time. So if you're doing the ends of drawer fronts, it will be different than if you're doing the side of a carcass versus if you're doing the side of a shelf, for instance. What that starts to show up in is your end trims and your corner rounders. And guess who they blame? The end trims and the corner rounders when the problem is here. Okay? So, 0.8 preload here, 0.8 on the vertical, bottom vertical, 0.7, 0.8. The top vertical, 1.1, 1.2. Now, you may say to yourself, why would I allow more on the top vertical? And that's because we have variances between the natural thickness change in the panel, the substrate, however it is they laid it up, the settings in the machine, and the actual position of the machines. So what we do is we go in there and we allow a little bit more on the vertical. So a common question that people have is they say, I changed from, say, 1/2 inch material to 3/4 inch material, and that top profile changes. That is almost always your preload. Okay, not 100%, but almost always, because as the unit positions, there's just a little bit of variance in there, and it shows up. Okay, now you may say 0.8. Jack, that's crazy. There's no way I can get 0.8. You can see that all day long with a dial indicator. Put it on here and watch this as it runs. But if you want to watch these, you want to watch them in the opposite orientation to what it is you're measuring. So if I want to measure my verticals, I need to be down here looking at it horizontally. If I want to measure my horizontals, I need to be on top of it looking vertical. And I can see it. If I try to do this at an angle, looking through this glass, when this station moves down and out, it looks like it moves a lot. When this station moves back and up, it actually looks like it's coming at me this way. So it does not give you the appearance that it's moving, where this one gives you the appearance it's moving a lot. It will lie to you. It will trick your eyes. Okay, so isolate that. Look horizontally, or look vertically. Okay, it's not any more difficult than that. Beyond that point, you may say to yourself, self, I would like to have this float just a little bit more. If you notice, these tracer wheels are almost always at an angle and they're canted. Not every single one of them. Some of them are shoes and some of them are, horizontal wheels. But the ones that are shaped like this, they act as a knife. So what will happen is, if I can get this down here where I can see it, as it's traveling, let me do it from this direction over, let's do it from here. All right, so the part is traveling to me this way, and I've got that roller is at an angle. What it will do is it will come across this, and it will clip this corner, and it will create a blemish here, or it'll create a blemish here. But it won't do it all the time. It will only do it in relationship to the thickness of your part. So if I have a half-inch part, it may do it all the time, but then I switch it over and I go to a 3/4 inch panel and it may never do it. And what that's from is because the relationship of where that wheel contacts your part versus where it's actually cutting, they're not in the same position vertically on your edge, okay? When you come in and you find this little bitty nick, be a nick right here on this corner, and it looks like sometimes that it cuts it, sometimes it looks like it bends it back, but it's always a little nick right here on the leading top or bottom corner. Go check that. Okay? So that's it for today, guys. We're talking about preloads, getting those set. I hope you find this interesting, and as always, like, share, comment. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on it. Make sure wear your PPE. And as always, guys, be safe out there. Let's go make a million.